Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell and welcome to the 12 Games of Christmas series that we do every year where we tell you 12 games in 10 categories and we think these are games you should check out and buy for other people or yourself. It doesn't really matter. Today we're talking about cooperative games, games in which you get along with other folks. Speaking of getting along with other folks, you ever watched the hilarious team at Above Board TV? They've done some really insane things. They've jumped out of an airplane while playing a game. They've played a game underwater with sharks. They are currently running role-playing games. They talk about board games. They've interviewed major people in the industry. They do silly visits to the museum toy. There's a lot of cool videos on their website. We're specifically pointing you to one video in today's video, and that's one in which they're covered with bees. Extreme Bee Challenge. And you check that video out where you watch people play a game while covered with bees. Comment on that video, because if you do, you will be entered into a contest. 10 lucky people are going to win a game shipped to them from Amazon, your choice, $50 or less, continental US. I hope you win it. But one lucky winner is going to get 3 days and 2 nights where we'll fly you to LA and you will play games with the Above Board team or be on one of their videos in some way. So good luck to that. But even if you don't win, definitely check out their channel. A lot of funny videos there. We're talking about cooperative games in this video, one of our 10 categories, games where you're trying to get along with other people. And sometimes you have that uber competitive Uncle Jack, and you just want to play a game and he's not like in everyone's face. This is the game for that. Or you just don't want necessarily confrontation for whatever reason, or you want to work together as a team to have a huzzah moment against the bad guy. Well, here's 12 games. Let's get started.
All right, let's kick off this cooperative games list with Bomb Busters. This is a game where you and your fellow players are trying to defuse a bomb. Sounds pretty high stakes, but the game treats it in a very lighthearted and cartoonish way. This is a game where you have to use limited communication to be able to guess the numbers which represent different wires that you have to cut of the other players. So you're going to be using a bit of deduction, maybe even a little bit of memory. And as the game progresses, you can actually go through a campaign. 66 different missions are included inside the box that are going to continue to add new little things to trip you up and make your goal, along with your fellow players, a little bit more difficult. It has a very, again, lighthearted approach to this heavyweight theme, and it's really good for players who like to solve puzzles, that especially like to use deductive logic in the things that they do. So check out Bomb Busters. It's a really interesting take on cooperative games.
Next up in the cooperative category, we're going to talk about Daybreak. Daybreak really sings in the cooperative nature and game category specifically because of the absolute must and necessity for cooperation. I feel like the first time you play this game, you're going to lose because you're going to put your head down and you're going to play your own game, and then you're going to realize that it takes everyone together. So the cooperation is not forced down your throat, but it's a discovery that you have to come to, and you have to find that balance between maintaining your own board and cooperating and helping others. So I really think it's an interesting balance of cooperation, and it makes it stand out in this field where it's necessary, but you're still doing your own independent thing. Such a great balance of that. If that seems like something unique that your group might like, I really recommend checking out Daybreak.
Expressions is from Barnmade Games. Expressions is a cooperative game, obviously on this list here, in which you are trying to get rid of cards from your hands. You have cards that are different numbers and colors, but you can't tell anyone what's in your hand. You can give information. This is a game in which you can give a little information about cards in your hand. And every time you do that, you essentially lose a point. But you got to do it. You got to give out some information. And then you might say, hey, I know you have a purple 7 in your hand. Well, now you just got a point. And essentially, you want to get more points than you lose. So you're trying to give few but cryptically good, interesting clues to other people, while at the same time, you don't want to give out too many clues because then, that makes it easier, obviously. And there's a lot of nice interaction. It's a pretty chunky little game. It's just a card game, easy to carry around. And it has this light, silly artwork on it, but it's very thinky and thoughtful, but also very easy for people to pick up and play. It's a nice surprise that we found this year that I've enjoyed a lot. So definitely check out from Barnmade Games Expressions.
Cooperation. It's what it's all about. Teamwork to make the dream work, which is why for this entry in 12 Days of Christmas, we are talking about A Message from the Stars, or as I like to call it, Man, I Must Be Stupid, the game. Now, I love this game, but every time I play as one of the human players, I feel really dumb. Then when I play the alien, I remember how to play it correctly, and then I go play the humans again. Now, that's not an indictment of this game because the game is fantastic. It's a great logic puzzle. It looks like a word game, but really and truly, it's a logic puzzle in which you're also using words for clues. So it takes some of the best elements of word game, party games, and then also mixed with logic puzzles. So, A Message from the Stars, fantastic game.
Next up, we've got Kinfire Delve, a wonderful fantasy game in which you're going to be picking a character, you are going to be cooperating with someone else with their own character, and then going up against a big bad. Now, there are 3 various sets of this game. You can get any one of the 3, and you can combine them. Take the good guys from this one against the bad guy from that one. Go down into the dungeon, and sort of it's a well, and you're going down the well, trying to beat the big bad. It's lovely. It's covered in beautiful artwork, really nice sense of progression, and a great push your luck, how much do you want to invest kind of feel. You have to know when to go in strong or when it's okay to fail something, take a little penalty, lick your wounds, and come on back. Really like it. That's Kinfire Delve.
Our next game on the co-op list is Flock Together. Flock Together is a very adorable game where you're pretty much a group of chickens and you try to level up and fight the final boss as you protect your coop. Now, this is really cool. The artwork in here is fantastic. The components in here are great. Every copy looks like a deluxe copy. That's what makes it stand out. It's great. And also, the moves are very straightforward. And the whole thing is you are trying to level up because at the end, you're going to have to fight the final boss. And the way you level up your chickens is really, really adorable. And you flip through, and every time you get bigger and bigger. And they have names like Cluckleberry Finn, Annie Yoakley. This is our go-to co-op in our family because it's one of those that's it's light as far as rule-wise. It's very straightforward, but it's also very strategic because you can win or lose very easily. And those are the games that I like, and that's what I like in a co-op, and that is Flock Together.
Next on our cooperative list is Mandalorian Adventures. So in this game, you're actually going to be taken across the whole arc of the first season, which is fun to relive those moments that you got to enjoy in the show. And also, it has some really cool card play. So it does come with a map book, which I always appreciate for easy setup. It's got that good cooperative element to it of actually working together and feeling like you need to work together to fight all the baddies and do all the stuff that needs to be done. But then also, yeah, that card play is very interesting, the way that you're trying to hit the right numbers and play the right actions at the right moments. So this is a good one to check out if you are interested in cooperative games and you like the Mandalorian series.
And next up in our cooperative category, we're going to talk about Marvel United, specifically the Spider-Geddon box. Now, this is the one that we are picking to showcase here, but Marvel United, in general, you really can't go wrong with. So if you have not seen the movies or don't really feel pulled towards Spider-Man, the universe and the multiverse, check out any of the boxes. But the Spider-Man we really wanted to talk about because it is so approachable because of the movies, because of the content, and having that association with those movies, those characters we're recently familiar with. The decks feel really unique. It's also bringing in different items for some of the decks. So if you have people that have played Marvel United before and they're ready for those items and that kind of gear, to specialize the character, it has that. But also there's some base characters in there that are just pull and play as well. So it's also a very versatile box if you're getting it for people that have played or haven't played. For those reasons, we recommend Marvel United, specifically here, the Spider-Geddon one.
Coming up next is Dead Cells. This is called a roguelite game, and it is based upon a video game of the same name. The idea in a roguelike or roguelite game is that you're going to continue to go through these different progressionary stages, and you have to expect that you're going to die because you're going to face these challenges that are ever harder. And the idea is that you go through a run, it's called, and you're going to try to get as much as you can on that run. You're eventually going to die, and then you're going to respawn, but you're going to respawn with some things that you you picked up on previous runs. You'll start right back at the very beginning where you started before. So it's a game where you're going to continue to delve further and further along, getting respawned at the beginning, but getting more and more powerful so that you're able to make these longer runs. It's a really interesting idea. It's cool to see it brought into the board game world. If you know somebody on your list that is a fan of this video game or of any type of roguelike video game and they like board games, check out Dead Cells.
Okay, our next game on the co-op list is Invincible. Invincible, I am very hesitant about IPs because IPs miss a lot. But this Invincible game is incredible. It's kind of like a mixture. I like to say it's a mix between Quacks at Quedlinburg and Marvel United. Those are two that you really wouldn't put together. But it's got a push your luck element with pulling those cubes. And you keep, I mean, it's really fun because you get to watch everybody else and say, just do it, just do it, just do it. And it's really, it feels great to pull those cubes out and hit or miss. I also like how this game handles the KOs. The KOs in a co-op game are always one of those things that have to happen, but this, the way it balances and doesn't make it game-breakingly bad, I really enjoy. Another thing is I play this with people that don't know the IP Invincible, and it still works great. So of course, if you know the IP, you're going to love this game even more, but without the IP, this is just a good game. This is like I say, bag building or bag pulling, co-op, it's great. So try this Invincible.
Hey, it's Leif and Travis again from Above Board, and we're here to talk about a board game that is based on a video game that is based on a card game. What has the world come to?
Oh, it's coming to Christmas.
Oh.
That's right. Slay the Spire is a very true adaptation of the 2017 roguelike video game phenomenon from Megacrate. Have you played it?
No, I have not.
It is one of my favorite games. It's one of my son's favorite games.
I will check it out.
Yeah,
okay.
It's fantastic.
The board game is a cooperative multiplayer affair where players use cards to attack enemies, gain more cards and positions as rewards, and advance through a path of rooms.
They get positions as an award?
Is that what I said?
It's potions.
Ah, potions.
That's okay. We won't do another take. Find treasure, events, and gain the ability to upgrade cards in order to defeat bigger and bigger beasts, including unique bosses.
Okay, the freedom multiplayer where players can attack any monster on the board adds a new level of strategy to the title.
And you use your positions.
Positions to get
to
potions.
heal yourself. Oh, to get potions.
Yes, positions get potions.
Positions get you potions. So you've played the board game, but not the
video game.
Not the video game?
Yeah, no.
That's a little weird because you play a lot of video games.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Slay the Spire. Awesome. Lots of positions.
Noobs in Space. This sounds silly, and you know what? It is a bit of a silly game from Cosmos. This is a game in which you are cooperating by, you take a deck of cards for each of the scenarios in a box. I believe there's 6. And you will split these cards evenly between everyone. You will then look at the cards, and whoever's card number 1 begins the game, and you keep going till you finish the scenario. You can't show each other cards, but in this game, you can communicate as much as you want. But it's the communicating that's the key. If it says, whoever has a key card that looks like a heart, and then the person with a lock that looks like a heart, show each other those cards. That might be something. That's pretty simple. But it gets a little bit more complex, and while nothing is overly complex, this is really a game about how, for me, to tell you what I need. I want a team building communication exercise. This is a great one for that. Or you just want to have a silly fun time during the Christmas holidays. And this is one of those games that you can play over the course of several hours, each of the missions. And when you're done, it still works. You just give it to somebody else or wait till next year when you've forgotten everything in it. I like it. It's silly. It's fun. You're all like on a space station trying to get things to work, and none of you are very good at it. But I like the cooperation and talking that this game really pushes. So that's Noobs in Space from Cosmos. That's it. 12 cooperative games. We have 9 other lists, folks. If the cooperative games aren't for you, maybe strategy games, thematic games. We're posting them all this week. The games that we mentioned in this video, you want to check them out. We tried to pick games that were online that you can go out there and find and play them and buy them. That's why we do this early, so that you can buy these before Christmas and get them to the table. Thanks so much for watching. We want to thank our sponsors, Above Board TV. Don't forget the contest I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vassell, and these are your 12 cooperative games of Christmas. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassett.